Welcome back to Everything New York Jets. Today I'm going to be talking about some offensive line options the New York Jets have in the upcoming draft. Now, just looking at how we did in free agency pertaining to the offensive line position, we did pretty bad, honestly. We did not get Joe Tooney. He went to the Chiefs. We did not even contact Corey Linsley's agents to see if they were interested or even make an offer just to see what the price tag was. I believe Connor Hughes said that the Jets were committed to Connor McGovern at center, which I don't know if I necessarily agree with committing so much so not to even try to contact Corey Linsley. But listen, we lost Pat Affline. We got worse at the offensive line position, and this has to be one of the biggest priorities heading into the draft. And the first person I have on this list is Creed Humphrey, center out of Oklahoma. He's very wide. He's 320 pounds, 6'5", very good technique. Um, he can move all around the offensive line, which is extremely important because like we heard, apparently Joe Douglas thinks Connor McGovern and Robert Saleh think Connor McGovern is a center moving forward. So we need a guy that can move all around the offensive line. He also had a great Senior Bowl showing. He was really showing his technique, his strength. He was destroying people, and so he's gonna be my first option. Obviously in no particular order. I'm just kind of listing off some names, but I would be very happy if we could look to possibly get him at the 23rd or the first pick of the second round. Other than that, I don't think we're gonna have a chance to get him. Next up on my list is Trey Smith out of Tennessee. He's 312 pounds, 6'4", and he's more of a run mauler, right? He wants to move the defensive line, and I think because of that, I think he's gonna be more of a scheme fit. Because again, we're gonna be using a lot of runs in our new offense, and I think he'll fit the scheme. But there is one thing I want to say about him, which is why I think he could really fall a lot in the draft. Is he's extremely injury he has a lot of injury. He has a lot of injuries. He has a extensive injury history, and usually that stuff makes offensive linemen fall in the draft. And so we should really look at that because I don't think he's gonna go in the first round. Possibly he might fall out of the first round because of his injuries, and we could really get a value type player in the second round and still address another need in the first round while still getting a quality offensive lineman. So for me, he's a guy who I think fits the scheme better, but you are taking a risk reward type thing because of his injury history. Next up, I have Deonte Brown out of Alabama. He's 350 pounds, 6'4", and he's gonna be a guy that's probably gonna go late second, third round. I would be surprised if he goes first round or early second, but it's possible, of course. But he's gonna be more of a developmental guy. I wouldn't say he fits a scheme necessarily because he's not too agile, right? He's not gonna be lead blocking necessarily, and that's something that he needs to improve upon. If he does get drafted by the Jets, because our scheme, he needs to be able to really lead block. He needs to get more agile, more speedy. Another thing is he's not necessarily the most refined as well, pass blocking. I believe he let up a sack in the Senior Bowl game, but everything is there in terms of potential. The measurements are there, the length is there, the size is there. This guy could be an extreme upgrade at the guard position and more. And this guy would be amazing next to Mekhi Becton. It would be virtually impossible to get past these two people. Just too much length from both of them to really get by. So he's gonna be the next person I have on this list. So next up on this list, I actually have a tackle, 315 pounds, 6'3", Rashawn Slater out of Northwestern. And the reason I have a tackle here is because he has the capability to move all around the offensive line. And if we do draft him, he has the ability to kind of play inside. And then once George Fant's contract is up, he can play at the right tackle position. But also, there is something to note here. It's very possible he doesn't even come near to being able to be picked by us. I mean, he's possibly going to go top 10, even top 5 in some mock drafts. There would have to be a big drop for him in the draft, and we would also have to trade up a few spots um, to get him. Which, I mean, it could be maybe we trade 23 and Sam Darnold to move up to 12 with the San Francisco 49ers, but I don't think they're really interested in Sam Darnold. But anyways, He is extremely athletic, extremely strong. I think he ran a 4.88, which for an offensive lineman is absolutely insane. He's technically sound, and I really believe he's going to be amazing at the next level. You watch him against Chase Young. He played great against Chase Young, who I believe made the Pro Bowl. So he played great against a Pro Bowl level edge rusher in college. And one thing to note, he did not play this year because of COVID reasons. But again, this guy is absolutely great. I mean, he might go top 5, top 10. If he does somehow fall, I would trade up immediately to try to grab him. Next up, I have Wyatt Davis, guard from Ohio State. He's 315 pounds, 6'4", and he's a guy who I can really see falling to us to 23 to the second round, maybe even more. And I'll talk about why that would be in a second. But he's a guy who's athletic. He's gonna go to the next level, and he wants to bring you down, right? I watched him versus Indiana when they're running the ball at Ohio State, he's just trying to bring all the Indiana defenders to the ground, right? But here's the thing: he has great bend, he's athletic, like I said, but he had a really major leg injury in the Alabama game, if I remember correctly, and I don't know where that stands with NFL teams because I don't know if they can even do a like an injury checkup because of COVID and all that stuff. So I'm not sure exactly where he's gonna get drafted because he could really go first round or he can go second round or third round. I mean, I don't think third round unless it's really major because if that leg injury is really bad, he's gonna lose a lot of that athleticism and that's really hurts him because that's really the basis of his game, being athletic, going to the next level, bringing down defenders. So we'll see with him. But not least, Alijah Vera-Tucker from USC, who's 6'4", 315 pounds, and he played tackle and offensive line in his collegiate career, and he's probably going to become a guard in the NFL. He played better at guard in college, and he's going to be another type of guy that could come in. We draft him, he becomes a guard, and then maybe we develop him to become a tackle once George Fant's contract is up. In terms of draft, I think 23. If I don't know if he's gonna go to the second round. He seems like a first round talent. He might not even be there at 23. But overall, just looking at this draft class, it is very, very stacked in offensive line. And if there is a year to not have a great O line, this is a year because you can really get great value late in the draft, early in the draft, and there's going to be a lot of players like a Trey Smith, like a Wyatt Davis that might fall really late because of their injuries and injury concerns, and you can really get value. So, guys, tell me what you think below who the Jets should target. Make sure to like and subscribe and comment.